Hey, Nadine. Sorry to bother you, but did you happen to send something to our house? We received a package just a moment ago, but we weren't expecting anything. Oh, has it already arrived? I'm glad to hear that. You never mentioned you were sending us something, so I was a little surprised when it arrived. Could you please tell me what it might be? When you open it, you'll see, right? Do you really need me to tell you what it is? It's a suit for Frank. A suit? Yes, a suit. Marcus's wedding is coming up, remember? Yes, that's right, it is. But you really don't have to worry about buying him a suit for it. He's already getting one made. Don't waste your money. The other day when I was out shopping with Yolanda, I found that suit. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was perfect for Frank, so I just had to buy it. Tell him to wear it to Marcus's wedding, okay? Oh, okay. I'll be sure to pass along the message. Why don't you open the package and take a look at it yourself? You'll see, it's really quite beautiful. I'm sure he'll love it. I'll open it with Frank when he gets home. And I'll be sure to tell him to call you, too. Oh, don't worry about it. And there's no need to thank me either. Didn't you just say something about getting a suit made? Yes, that's right. I did. Frank was going to see a tailor tomorrow, actually. Well, tell him to cancel all of that. It would have been quite a waste of money, don't you think? This suit I sent you will definitely look better on him than anything you could have made anyway. Oh, I see. It's that great, huh? Thank you for thinking of us. If there are any problems with the size, you can just take it straight to the store, since they said they'd fix it if it didn't fit right. And for no extra charge, either. Okay, I understand. I'll be sure to let Frank know. What about yourself, Ariana? Have you decided what to wear? Are you wearing a floor-length gown? Or a sundress? Although I think you might be a little old to wear something so short. Yes, you might be right about that. I think a floor-length gown would be good, but I haven't had a chance to buy something yet. I'm planning on talking to Frank about it and going shopping with him for something soon. Oh, is that right? If you're going to choose something with Frank, then I guess I can relax. After all, his taste is as good as mine. I'm sure he'll dress you to look the part. I'm sorry if I made you worry somehow. Well, it's not like weddings happen every day or something. So I just don't want any cause for embarrassment at the ceremony. That's all. That would be very rude to all the guests, don't you think? Yes, I suppose it would. I was very surprised to hear about Marcus getting married. But you have no idea how relieved I was after meeting Yolanda. Marcus is so handsome, and Yolanda is really such a beautiful woman. They're perfect for each other. And I'm sure they're going to give me beautiful grandchildren. Yes, it's true that Yolanda really is beautiful. I think they're a great match, too. They really are, aren't they? Even if I put my bias aside, Marcus is a very handsome man, too. I think anyone would agree. If he didn't marry someone as beautiful as Yolanda, it would have really been such a waste. Yeah, I suppose I can see what you mean. It makes me wonder about Frank. I wonder what was going through his mind. He's not bad looking either, right? I don't know what made him marry a woman as plain as you. You really hit the jackpot, didn't you? When I first heard about your marriage, I was really surprised, you know. I'm sorry for being so plain. It's nothing you need to apologize for. I guess he doesn't have to worry about you cheating or anything at the very least. But you know, even if it wasn't you he married, I would be worried about him growing tired of his partner. That boy really gets bored easily. I've lost count of how many girlfriends he's had over the years. Yes, you've told me that before. So anyway, don't let him get bored of you, okay? Thank you for your concern. I'll do my best, But having said that, I don't think you have to worry at the moment. He doesn't seem to be bored of you. If that's the case, I'm glad. I don't know how long that will last, though, so don't get too comfortable. Oh, and that reminds me. After you decide what to wear for the wedding, don't forget to check with me, too. I don't want you showing up at the wedding in a dress I didn't approve of. Okay, I understand. Ariana! I just got off the phone with Frank. What's the meaning of this? He said he doesn't need the suit I sent him. What did you say to him? I don't know what to tell you. I'm terribly sorry. He decided to go with the tailor. Don't just apologize. Help me understand instead. After all the trouble I went to, getting him such a nice suit and sending it all the way to your house, for him to say he's ordered one himself? Don't you think that's a little rude? I don't know if there's any use talking to me about this. This was Frank's decision, not mine. Then tell me, who else should I talk to? Didn't we speak on the phone last week? And didn't you agree with me? About how the suit I sent was much nicer than anything he could have made. I don't remember giving my opinion. You've really changed your tune. I bet you didn't tell him anything I said about the suit. It's no wonder he isn't excited. This is all your fault. I did talk to Frank, and I expressed your feelings very clearly. There's no way that's true. If it was, this would never have happened. I'm sorry, but Frank already made his mind up about getting a suit tailor-made. Well, that's obviously because you didn't sell it well enough. I told him everything you told me to. Also, if the size was a problem, it's just a matter of getting it fixed, right? Did you tell him that too? Yes, I did. You know, even if you keep pressing me about this, Frank's the one who would be wearing the suit, not me. So I think Frank's feelings on the matter are the most important. Excuse me. Do you know how much that suit cost? $200, you know? It was $200. And yet, he said there's no way he's wearing such a cheap suit. Can you believe that? $200 is a lot of money. I'm really sorry. I don't know how to put this, but the suit you sent was more of a business suit for a work setting. It's a really nice suit, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was meant to be worn at an event like a wedding. What? You mean to tell me you have a problem with it too now? I wouldn't say I have a problem with it or anything. I just think it might not be appropriate for a wedding. That's all. Oh, I see. So that's how it is. Don't worry. Now I understand. What do you mean? What do you understand? I never got the impression that you disagreed with me on the suit. But I should have seen this coming from you. I'm really not sure what you mean. You seemed to really agree with me last week, but I suppose I only have myself to blame for taking you at face value. I'm really disappointed to see how two-faced you can actually be. But why am I surprised? You never take my side about anything, do you? I'm honestly very sorry, but I think you have the wrong idea. I told Frank everything you asked me to tell him. It wasn't my intention to go against you. I did exactly as you asked. I never said I wanted you to apologize or anything, so you can save your breath. Your apology is worthless to me anyway. It's been the same ever since you married Frank. You never listen to a word I say. I think my son might have made a big mistake by marrying someone like you. I always told him he could do better. Please don't say things like that. I understand your feelings, I really do. But I just want you to understand Frank's feelings too. Is that really so wrong? There's no use trying to make yourself sound like such an angel. I already know what you're really like. That isn't what I'm doing. I'm not trying to sound like an angel. I'm just telling you how I feel. All I want is for you to understand his feelings. That's all. What's wrong with that? Ever since Frank married you, he barely even visits us anymore. We're lucky if we see him every few months. All he cares about these days is pleasing you, and he seems to have forgotten all about me and the rest of his family. You must have told him not to visit home anymore, too, right? Don't try and lie to me. I never once said anything like that. Frank's been really busy at work recently. It's not that he's deliberately avoiding going home or anything. He just doesn't have a lot of free time. You expect me to believe that? You mean to tell me he's too busy to spare a single evening? I've done so much for that boy. And to think, he'd end up so easily influenced by a woman like you. You've really got it all wrong. Could you please calm down? I am calm! Well, I'm glad I at least don't have to worry about Marcus ending up like this. Yolanda seems like the perfect daughter after all, so I think I can relax. She's the complete opposite of you. I don't understand. It's been like this ever since I married Frank. Why do you think so badly of me? What did I ever do to you? You didn't do anything. But of course, as a mother, I'm going to prefer my son marry women who are on the same page as me. And by that, I mean women who try their best to make their husbands' lives peaceful and happy, as well as the lives of their husbands' families. Of course I'm going to be disappointed if my sons don't marry someone like that. I'm concerned about their futures, naturally. I'm trying my best. I really am. But you must realize how demanding you can be. I've always done my best to please you, but just doing everything you say without question is a little difficult, to say the least. Well, even if it's difficult, you should still do as I say. Shouldn't that much go without saying? I accepted you marrying my precious first son, after all. Shouldn't you be showing me a little more respect? But you call this trying your best. Don't make me laugh. I'm very sorry you feel that way. I'll try harder from now on. You really should try having a little more empathy towards me, don't you think? Why don't you take a page out of Yolanda's book? She's been absolutely wonderful. She brings Marcus to come and see us pretty often, too, you know. Almost every few weeks, in fact. I never would have imagined I'd be so lucky to have such a wonderful daughter-in-law. Especially after having to put up with you for so long. Marcus turned out to be a pretty good son, choosing such a wonderful wife. Yeah, that's right. Yolanda really is a wonderful person. It makes me wonder, if Frank marries someone else, maybe he'd go back to being as good a son as he was before he met you. Excuse me? What do you mean by that? Are you suggesting he should divorce me? Relax, it's just a joke. It would be so embarrassing if Frank got a divorce after all. I don't want to imagine what all the neighbors and relatives would say. But you know, having said that, with a face like Frank's, it's not like he'd have any problems finding a new wife right away. You might call that a joke, but I don't find it very funny. You never did have much of a sense of humor, did you? Well, I'll be honest with you. Whether this stays as a joke or not completely depends on you, and how you treat my son and his family. Don't you ever forget that. Don't worry. I understand. I heard you've been going dress shopping. Didn't I tell you to show me your dress before you buy it? Yes, I remember. But we didn't end up buying anything that day. I see. Don't forget what I told you, okay? I definitely need to see the dress before you buy it. And don't forget the dress code. They want to keep it moderately formal, remember? Yes, I'm aware. I've seen the kind of clothes you usually wear, so I think you can understand why I'm worried. Please don't worry. I'll be dressed appropriately. Look for a deep color like emerald or navy, okay? Nothing too gaudy like that dress I saw you in last Christmas. Oh, and the wedding's in a few months, so you still have time to get in shape. Let me know if you need any tips or advice with that. Excuse me? That was your plan, I assume. I think you might have a hard time finding a dress that would fit you as you are. Thank you for your concern, but I think I'll manage. Really? Well, I know a really nice gym not far from where you and Frank live. Would you like me to give you the address? That's very kind of you, but please don't worry about it. Is that so? Well, let me know if you change your mind. They have a referral program I want to take advantage of. And I'm looking forward to seeing the dress you pick. Hey! Didn't I invite the two of you over for dinner tonight? I just heard from Frank that neither of you are coming. What's the meaning of this? Explain yourself, right now. Yes, I'm really sorry we can't make it this evening. Frank said today's not a good day for him. If you'll have us over another day, I'm really looking forward to it. Is that really all you have to say? The nerve of some people. I'm so disappointed in you. I was expecting to receive a message more along the lines of, since Frank is busy, how about I just come and see you on my own this time? But you can't even spare us such a basic courtesy, can you? But why am I so surprised? You really are a useless wife. I should have seen this coming. I'm really sorry, but it's not really possible for me to come over today either. I invited you over for a reason, you know. You can understand that much, at least, can't you? I'll really never understand why he married a woman like you. Please try and understand. Today really is a bad day for us. We didn't mean to disrespect you. I never asked when a convenient time for you was. You really need to get your priorities in order. If I call you over, you should come. It's as simple as that. I'm your mother-in-law, remember? Isn't that a wife's job? I'm sorry, that isn't really possible for me. Today, even Marcus and Yolanda said they had plans and couldn't come. After I went through all the trouble of inviting them. Why does nobody care about my feelings? I spend most of my life raising those sons of mine, and this is how they repay me. I'm sorry about this, I really am. But, by the way, you said there was a reason you invited us over? What was the reason? Is everything okay? I wanted everyone to eat dinner together as a family. It's been over a month since we've all been together, hasn't it? Oh, I see. Yes, I think it has been around a month. Your father-in-law might have said that. Since everyone's busy, I shouldn't pressure you all. But I know that's just his pride talking. He actually really wants to see everyone. But he doesn't want to admit it. That's why I went through the trouble of inviting everyone. I never would have imagined you would all turn me down. Well, please tell him how sorry we are that we're unable to make it this time. And tell him we're looking forward to seeing him next time. Huh! I know you think I'm stupid, but even I know there won't be a next time. You're just going to come up with a new excuse every time we invite you over, aren't you? Until we finally pass away, old and alone. And then you can celebrate, and you can finally stop thinking of new excuses. That's not true. I'd be more than happy to visit if I could. I'm really sorry, but I hope you can believe me. It's nothing we can help this time. The truth is, I can be quite susceptible to colds, especially around this time of year. So, unsurprisingly, I've caught a cold. And the last thing I want to do is give my cold to any of you. In that case, you should just talk to Frank about coming alone when you're not feeling well. Can't you think of that much on your own? It's like I said before. Frank is really busy with work. What a surprise! More excuses. But what am I saying? You're probably not even sick. This is just an excuse not to visit us, isn't it? It isn't an excuse. I would be more than happy to visit you if I was feeling better. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. All you do is apologize, isn't it? Do you think you can fix anything by just saying you're sorry? What? I never thought that. Honestly, all you ever say is sorry. You're like a broken record. Do you even know any other words? It seems like you think you can get away with anything by just saying sorry. It's really starting to get on my nerves, you know? You've really got it all wrong. I only apologize when I actually feel sorry about something. I'm not trying to get out of things, I'm just expressing how I feel. Ugh, enough already. How about you try being a little more honest for once in your life? Isn't the real reason you're not coming over that you simply don't want to come to our house? That has to be why Frank never comes over too. There's no other explanation. That's what it is, isn't it? Don't think you can keep lying to me. No, you've got it all wrong. Frank is genuinely very busy at work. He was recently promoted and he has a lot of new responsibilities now. It's really tough to go to your house as often as you seem to want us to. I've never stopped him going to see you either. Every time Frank has refused, it's been his own choice, with no input from me. And it's really never anything we can help. And what exactly do you mean by, as often as I want? I've only asked for him to come and see us once a month, haven't I? Is that too much to ask? Frank hardly ever even replies to my messages anymore. Can't you see why I'm worried? There's no way you don't have something to do with how cold he's been towards his own parents. I've never stopped him getting in touch with you. Why would I do that? How would I know what's going on in your head? Maybe you're jealous of how close our family was? In any case, all I know is he used to come and see us quite often and reply to my messages very promptly. Until he met you, that is. I really don't know what to tell you. I've always been willing to go to your house, whenever it's been possible. And haven't I bought you a lot of gifts over the years, too? I've always done what you've asked me to, whenever I've been able to. Shouldn't all of that go without saying? You're a wife, after all. And I'm your husband's mother. Of course you should do as I say. Can you not act so proud of yourself for doing the bare minimum? I'm not acting proud of myself. Again with the excuses! You really never change, do you? Why do you want to fight with me so badly? Aren't you making a bit of a habit out of this? I'm not making a habit out of anything. Why do you always have to treat me as an enemy? I don't think I've ever done anything to warrant this. That's enough already. I've had it with your disrespect. What do you mean by that? I don't think I've said anything disrespectful. If you can't even understand how much you've offended me over the years, then I really give up. I should have never let Frank marry someone like you. I should have known what kind of person you were when I heard about how little time you spend with your own parents. I'm sorry, but I don't think you know anything about my relationship with my parents. I know you barely visit them once a year, right? But you know that's because they live across the country, don't you? As you already know, I moved states to live with Frank. And it's difficult to visit them over the holidays, since you insist me and Frank both stay at your house. Oh, so it's my fault, is it? I never said that. Again with the excuses! Didn't I tell you to stop making excuses and just admit your own faults? I'm sorry, but I don't think I've done anything wrong, so there are no faults for me to admit to here. You're still talking back to me. Now I've really had it. I don't think I can accept someone like you being my precious son's wife. I don't want you anywhere near me or my family. Don't worry about coming to Marcus's wedding either. Wait a minute. Why not? No, I'm not going to wait a minute. I'm not interested in hearing anything you have to say. I thought, if nothing else, you were at least a mature wife who understood her responsibilities. But talking back to me as much as you've been, there's no way I can forgive such insolence. What are you saying? Could you please calm down a little? All I've done is answer your questions. I never meant to disrespect you. Once you've calmed down, let's talk to Frank about this, okay? If we do that, I'm sure we can clear up all of the misunderstandings you seem to have. No, thank you. And don't worry, I'll talk to Frank myself. As long as he's with a wife as disrespectful as you, I don't want him stepping foot in my house. Nadine, could you please try to calm down? I'm your daughter-in-law. Don't say that. I don't want someone like you in my family tree. Now, can you please do me a favor and stay out of my sight in the future? How could you say that? Hey, have you forgotten already? I told you the other day, didn't I? Not to show your face around me. No, I haven't forgotten. In that case, what do you think you're doing at the wedding? I refuse to be in the same building as someone like you. If you're here, I'm going home. What? You're leaving the wedding? Huh, what a shame. Do you want Marcus to have to get married without both of his parents at the ceremony? If you care even a little bit about Marcus and Yolanda, go home right now. I understand. I'll go home. Good riddance. Your dress is so plain, too. But I guess that makes it perfect for you. It would just embarrass them anyway, having someone like you in the wedding pictures. I can't believe you had the nerve to come here in the first place. Of course I came, since they were kind enough to invite me. They were just being polite. That much is obvious, isn't it? Do you think they actually want you here? You really have no shame, do you? Just go home already. You're such a nuisance. So do everyone a favor and leave. I understand. I'm leaving. Hey! I only told you to go home. How dare you take Frank and his father with you? What on earth are they thinking? Leaving me here alone. I didn't take anyone anywhere. I just did what you told me to do. I can't control their actions. I only told you to go home, not them. Do you not listen to what other people say? Don't worry, I heard what you said. Which is why I've done exactly what you told me to and gone home. Like I said, I never told anyone besides you to leave. You can go home by yourself. What did you tell them to make them go with you? Now stop messing around. Send those two back, immediately. How am I supposed to send them back? It's not like I forced them to leave with me or anything. What? I just told them I was going home because you told me to, and the two of them decided to leave too. I don't know what to tell you. What are you talking about? I'm sick of your lies. Why would they do that? I wonder why. It seems like you can go home too. Or rather, did you not just get a message from Marcus telling you to go home? I did get a message like that from Marcus. Why? What is the meaning of this? Is this some kind of joke? Why should I have to go home? I'm his mother, aren't I? What lies have you been telling him? Isn't that something you should ask him yourself? I did! I replied to his message. But it seems like the message hasn't been read yet. What's the meaning of this? You need to explain what's going on right now. That must be because he's on the phone with Frank. I think he just told Frank that he's told you to go home, so it's okay for us to come back to the wedding. What are you going to do? Huh? You're asking me what I'm going to do? I'm going to the wedding, of course. I have to clear up all the lies you must have told them. There's no way I'm just going home. It's my own son's wedding, you know. If anyone should go home, it's you. Just do us all a favor and go home on your own. Do you still not understand? The one they want to leave the wedding isn't me. It's you. Just you. So if you don't want the wedding to be called off, I think it might be best if you leave. I don't understand. Why on earth would they want you to stay and me to go home? It actually looks like they never wanted to invite you in the first place. But since you're still Marcus's mother, they decided to do you a favor and invite you. But it seems like even a person as nice as Marcus has his limits. Still his mother? And what exactly is still supposed to mean? Of course I'm his mother! For now, that's true. But once this wedding is over, it seems like your husband is planning to get a divorce from you. A divorce? Why would he want a divorce? Well, even if we ignore your behavior right now, you're always so selfish. So it seems like he's sick of always being pushed around by you. What are you talking about? I've never pushed anyone around. Don't say such ridiculous things. All you ever do is push people around. The way you butt into your son's lives and pick on their wives. And then you go into a fit of rage if anyone speaks up to you. It seems like everyone's had enough of you. Most of all, your own husband. Who are you talking about? I've never done anything like that. Have you forgotten all the things you've done? Let me remind you of just a few. Do you recall all the times when you've invited people over on the weekends or holidays? How on those days, you force him to clean the whole house or rearrange furniture all day? And if he's the one cooking, you just complain about how the food doesn't taste good, don't you? You've really been a nightmare. I've never done anything like that. There's no use lying. I have a lot of evidence, you know. Like message screenshots as well as countless recordings of conversations. I've been collecting all of this evidence in case something ever happened. Not that it was necessary, since Frank and his father believed me before I even showed them any of it. You're lying again. No, as usual, I'm not. And while we're at it, I may as well tell you this, too. I actually asked them both to do me a favor, and that you say whatever you want to me. No matter what you said to me, or what you did to me, I asked them not to say anything, or interject at all. I thought, while you were busy picking on me, Yolanda wouldn't have to suffer. What? Yolanda? What do you have to do with Yolanda? She happens to be one of my best friends. I've known her since high school. We even went to the same university. Huh? Don't lie to me. You, I can understand. But there's no way she'd keep something like that from me. Have you ever even asked her about me? Well, no. But... Besides, who do you think introduced her to Marcus in the first place? Why didn't you ever tell me? If you knew we were old friends, I thought you'd definitely treat her as badly as you treat me. How dare you make such assumptions about me? And how dare you keep such secrets from me, too? How long did you plan on making a fool of me? I never meant to make a fool of you. All I wanted to do was keep you from causing trouble for Marcus and Yolanda. And now, when this wedding's over, we'll never have to deal with you again. So I can finally relax. You. How could you? From tomorrow onwards, don't expect any of us to answer your calls. Even if you try and refuse the divorce with Frank's father. He isn't going back to that house ever again. And since that house belongs to him, he plans on selling it as soon as possible. So you had better start making preparations to move. You don't have long. Wait a minute. He's going to sell the house? What's going to happen to me? I don't know. Why are you asking me? Didn't I just tell you that we don't want anything to do with you after today? Stop messing around! I am not getting divorced. There's no way. I don't believe you. You're just making all of this up, aren't you? Your husband said no matter how many years it might take, He is definitely divorcing you. And as long as there's evidence that this marriage is practically over, it shouldn't take over a year and a half at most, even if it does go to trial. He said he wants to divorce me that badly. Isn't that what I just said? And if you're thinking of moving in with one of your sons, you should forget about that too. Not only have Marcus and Yolanda moved into a new apartment together, without giving you the address, of course, me and Frank have also moved to a new place. So, good luck finding either of them. What? What have you done? Do you think you can get away with this? You're just his wife. How dare you take Frank away from me? Yes, I'm his wife. Do wives not have the right to move house? You're a wife too, aren't you? Or at least you were. I wonder if your mother-in-law treated you the way you've treated me. Did she ever tell you to drop everything and visit her? No matter how sick you might have been? Or has she ever thrown the food you cooked into the trash? Well, did she ever try and force you into divorcing her son? While her son wasn't around, did she ever talk to you the way you talk to me when Frank isn't around? Shut up! Isn't all of that your own fault anyway? All I ever did was try and teach and guide you. What's wrong with that? Isn't that my job as your mother-in-law? You tried to teach me? Tell me, what exactly did you teach me? I taught you a lot. Maybe I learned how to make people feel bad? Or how to drive my whole family away? Or maybe how to end up alone. But I can't really think of anything else besides those. It really is a mystery, isn't it? How did people as good as Frank and Marcus come from a mother like you? That's enough. I'll never forgive you. That's fine. I don't really care whether you forgive me or not. But please don't come and haunt me as a ghost or something after you pass away. That actually might be a bit scary. What are you talking about? How could you say such things to me? Oh, you'll have to excuse me. It seems like I don't have any more time to talk to you. What? Don't tell me. You're at the wedding! I am, actually. And it looks like it's about to start. We're actually back at the venue already. While you went out to look for everyone, we all came back. Where are you? Tell me right now! I can tell you if you want. But you do realize they aren't going to let you in, right? Huh? Why not? It seems like the staff were specifically told not to. Marcus told them not to let you in, no matter what you say. So it seems like the wedding is gonna go off without a hitch. Just hang on a minute. A wedding without the groom's mother? That's ridiculous. Tell them to let me back in. Right this minute. I don't want to hear you talk about what's ridiculous or not. The way you've been acting, I don't think you have any right to call anything ridiculous. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't have any more time to talk to strangers. I have a wedding to attend. So if you'll excuse me. Just wait a minute. I'll apologize for everything up until now. Then it's fine, isn't it? Let me back in. Please. We heard from the staff that my mother-in-law tried to get back into the wedding, but they were able to keep her from entering, and the wedding was able to go as planned. By the time the wedding was over, she had already left. It seems like she went home to wait for her husband after that, and after finally talking to him, she refused to get a divorce. But of course, my father-in-law hadn't changed his mind, so he stood his ground and moved out immediately. For now, he's staying with us in our new apartment. Our new apartment is pretty close to Marcus and Yolanda's new place, too. So the whole family meets more often than ever before now. Of course, my mother-in-law doesn't know about this, but I'm actually pregnant, too. So it seems like our family will get even bigger next year. I can't wait to raise my own son in a loving family, with my husband Frank and Frank's father, too. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to see more videos like this. Hi, Mindy. It's been a long time. Mindy? You there? You still alive? I know you didn't change phones or anything, so you're not going to get away with claiming I've got the wrong person. Come on! Just respond already! It's not like I'm contacting you at midnight or something. Oh, Carrie. Hello. Finally, you actually responded. Seriously, what took you so long? Sorry, I only just finished up with work for the day, so I couldn't look at my phone until now. It really has been a long time, hasn't it? We haven't seen each other since, what, around when we graduated high school? Yeah, I know, right? It's been way too long. So you're telling me you're still hard at work? Wow, I'm surprised. Huh? I mean, yeah, of course I have. What's so surprising about that? I've worked really hard to land this job. It's the one I've been aiming for a long time now. Oh, is it now? Frankly, I thought you would be the type who would want to end up being a stay-at-home mom or something. Huh? What made you think that? Well, you got married to the son of some big-shot company prez, right? Well, yes, his father is the CEO of one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the industry, sure. But it's not like I only married him for his money or something. I'd never do something like that. Wait, why am I even telling you this? How do you know this much about my personal life anyway? Well, with the intelligence network I have at my disposal, it's actually quite simple. Intelligence network, huh? Right. I mean, wow, was I surprised? For someone like you whose only quality was her book smarts, I couldn't believe you managed to marry into so much money. Well, you make it sound like I only married him for his money, which, as I already said, couldn't be further from the truth. Oh, what's this now? Is that a hint of arrogance I sense? Are you trying to say that you're doing better than I am? What? Where did you get that idea? I had no intention of doing anything like that. Yeah, I know. With how terrible you'd be at trying to pull off any kind of bragging, I was getting worried about how I'd respond. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, there is something I wanted to ask you about. Could you give me that rich husband of yours? I'm sorry, what? There's no way that's just some autocorrect mistake, is there? Are you seriously asking what I think you're asking? I think so, since I pretty clearly stated it. I want you to give me that rich husband of yours. I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm completely speechless. What are you acting so weird about? I mean, the son of the president of a company is practically a celebrity, you know? I just feel like his potential is just completely wasted on a plain, boring woman like you. That's all. So I feel like he'd be better suited to someone whose heart and looks are as pretty and glittery as he is. Like me. Someone like me totally suits him a lot better than you do. Sorry I didn't respond for a second there. I needed to restart my brain after seeing the absurdity of what you wrote. Glittery? Really? Before I can even try to delve into your nonsense, I've gotta ask. Have you actually met my husband at all? Nope. Really? So you're just asking me to hand him over to you without ever having seen him? Are you crazy? What? What's wrong with that? It's fine, isn't it? He's got such a prestigious position that just on that information alone, there's enough value in getting him as a husband. That line of thinking is just wrong. What is wrong with you? What do you mean, there's enough value? Do you really take marrying someone that lightly? And that's not even going into how wrong it is for you to just openly ask to take someone's husband from them, without even having seen them once even. Oh, what are you going on about? Stop acting like I'm trying to do something unspeakable. All I'm doing is giving you advice. As someone who is much prettier than you should take my advice to heart. I'm telling you, someone like him is much more well-suited to be with someone who matches his level of glamour. You're advising me? His level of glamour? You are making zero sense here. No, I'm just telling you what should be common knowledge. Don't you know anything about what society is really like? I mean, isn't it obvious that a man used to a luxury life would want a wife that matches that luxury style? You can't tell me you don't understand this. I bet he's just got some circumstances surrounding him where he just felt like he needed to settle for marrying someone like you. I know that if I were to appear in front of him, he would fall in love with me in an instant. If you just stay quiet and out of the way, you don't even have to do much to give him up. Just let me do my work and he'll come to me on his own. And then I'll be right by his side as we start to live such a gorgeous, blissful life together. You can't tell me that's not romantic. I have no words. You are spouting such utter nonsense that I feel like I'm going to collapse from the sheer idiocy pressing down on me. Huh? Again with the mean comments? What's with you? No matter what you say, I am not divorcing my husband. And it's not just because we love each other either. Not only are we husband and wife, we're also business partners. If I were to use your wording, I would say that I am the only one who deserves to be by his side as he continues living his life. Excuse me? I will not just let you walk all over me with the same selfish, I deserve everything just because I'm me attitude that you had in high school. You're an adult now. I highly suggest you start acting like it. Don't you start naively talking like you know how the world works. I don't care if you think I'm naive. I think you just need to accept that the world doesn't revolve around you. And with that, this is where I say goodbye. What's with you? Some plain woman like you acting like she can appreciate the kind of life she has? I hope you know that you're not going to beat me on this. I am going to take your husband from you and shove it in your smug face. I will make you pay dearly for denying me what I rightly deserve. Oh, Mindy! Oh, it's you again. You're on your honeymoon right now, aren't you? I don't see how that's relevant. What do you want? Well, after looking into lots of popular honeymoon spots in the hotels around them, and I finally caught up to you. I've tracked you down. Excuse me? You did what now? Aren't you just a little nervous? I know how you haven't seen your husband since yesterday. Why do you ask? Well, I thought you might be able to guess, but he's with me right now. What? I mean, honestly, your husband was just too easy. I just made a cute little face at him, and from then on he couldn't keep his eyes off of me. A little more prodding and he just came home with me. No trouble. Since then, he's been coming to see me at my hotel all the time. I'm sorry? Well, of course, we've been having quite a bit of fun together, too. And I guess that's just a way of saying, I stole your honeymoon from you. So? What are you talking about anyway? If you think you're talking about my husband, well, sorry to disappoint you, but he's right here next to me. Oh, you. Of course you'd say something like that. Trying to hide how much pain you're feeling by telling such a blatant lie. I'm struggling not to laugh at how sad that is. Go on and enjoy your little Miami trip alone now, okay? I see you're wrong in more ways than one. We are nowhere near Miami either. Yes, sure. Just keep going on with the little fibs to try to hide your broken heart. You know it's not good to bottle up your negative emotions for so long, so I'd suggest you cut it out soon. It's gonna hurt more later. I think it'll hurt for you more if you don't start accepting that you royally screwed up. Not that I really expect you'll ever believe me. Excuse me. Well, as I know I've already told you, there's no way I'd ever divorce my husband and give him to you. And he's saying that he's never once thought about leaving me either.
Oh, really now?
Well, I don't really understand what sort of enjoyment you're getting out of trying to rile me up, but my husband's telling me that he has a visceral hatred for women like you, and there's no way he would even look at you, let alone fall for you.
Oh, wow. That's totally hilarious. You really come up with lots of crazy things to say. The man who's been with me, the best parts of me, would never say something like that about me. Especially not after he and I just had such a hot, steamy night together. And of course, he's right next to me right now anyway, so I know you're lying.
Either your information network is way off the mark, or you need to get your eyes checked. Are you sure you're not mistaking him for someone else? Well, anyway, my husband and I have things to do together, so…
Yes, run along now and cry it out already. Go on and enjoy your heartbreaking single trip on your own now. Hello again, Mindy. How's it going? I've heard some really good news that I just had to ask you about. I heard your husband divorced you. Isn't that right?
You seriously haven't given up on this yet? I'd really like to just ignore you and let you live your life in your own little mistaken world, but… seriously, what are you trying to do by trying to get me angry so much? What's your goal here?
What? I'm not doing something like that. Don't make it sound like I'm doing something mean. I mean, I'm with my fated partner who's supposed to become my husband. He only married you by accident, after all. All I did was get him back from you to fix the mistake. And now things can go as they were supposed to from the start.
Every time you text me, I'm astonished at how utterly clueless you are. What are you even talking about? How can someone you've literally never met be your fated partner? There's no reason to believe that could ever happen.
I'm starting to think you're the completely clueless one here. I'm telling you, your ex-husband is here with me right now. We just filed our marriage registration to boot. How can you continue to be stuck in denial?
I don't know if you can call it denial if I'm stating facts. We haven't even gotten divorced.
Well, obviously that means that he divorced you without you knowing it. Come on! This is basic stuff here.
Basic, huh? Your idea of what's common really makes no sense to me. Anyway, for you to be so insistent that you're with my husband, you must actually have someone with you, right?
Yes! I've told you a bunch of times already. I'm with your ex-husband. But I gotta say, this is the first time I've been with someone I just have such good chemistry with. Oh, my dear Marky is just the greatest.
Marky? So that guy's name is Mark? Well, that confirms it. You've been wrong this whole time. After all, my husband's name is Albert.
What? Albert?
And, well, on top of that, we're in London right now.
You're where? London?
Well, due to some work-related circumstances, we've been living in London for the past couple years already. While we were on our honeymoon in the US, we had stopped in Miami, where we eventually got on a flight back to the UK.
You have got to be kidding me! You're not really expecting me to believe this!
Why would I lie about this? We're talking about something that happened 3 months ago.
But, wait, hold on. Then who the heck is this Mark guy that I just married?
Well, I can't say either of us are really familiar with anyone by that name. So, why were you so utterly convinced that guy was my husband anyway?
I talked to him in front of that hotel in Miami, didn't I?
I'm sorry? You've lost me.
After he talked to you for a while, it seemed like he was storming off somewhere to do something on his own. So I thought that was my chance to nab him. That's when I seduced him and invited him to my room.
Hold on. Could you be talking about… That one lanky guy with bleached blonde hair who was wearing some jacket with a super gaudy design?
Yes! That's him! I remember that jacket. I remember thinking you couldn't possibly appreciate something that flashy. So, you did know who I was talking about after all.
I mean, I saw the guy, sure, but I can't say I have any idea who he is.
Huh? You don't? How could you not know him if you remember who I'm talking about? I don't understand.
I think he was the guy who was trying to seduce me. Or at least any woman he could get his hands on.
Seduce you? I don't like where this is going.
Well, my husband and I were on our way to the airport, so it was when we were checking out of our hotel. The thing is, Albert forgot something back in our room, so I waited in the hotel lobby while he went to get it. That's when that guy approached me and started trying to hit me up, but once I told him that I was a married woman on my honeymoon, he started looking annoyed. And when I told him that my husband would be back shortly, he stormed off in a huff, grumbling under his breath. That's the extent of my knowledge of the guy.
No way. So, you're saying that I married some random playboy?
Well, that certainly sounds like it to me. But is that really a problem? If you adore him as much as you make it sound, isn't that fine anyway?
No, this is all wrong! I thought I could steal your place in high society from you. I thought I was going to secure myself a life of luxury by taking him for myself. I did everything I could for the past 3 months to get him to love me. And you're telling me it was just for some worthless playboy? How could this happen to me? I don't deserve this.
So, sorry to butt in on your little self-pity party, but if you put aside the whole playboy thing for a moment, don't you think it'd be a good idea to look into the smart guy's background a little?
What do you mean?
Well, that's all I can really say, to be honest.
Hold on, Mindy. Please, can't you help me?
Why?
Huh? What do you mean, why?
Well, setting aside how I wouldn't even want to help you after how you've been treating me, this whole situation has nothing to do with me, doesn't it?
What are you talking about? It has everything to do with you. This all started with how he tried to hit on you, didn't it? You said it yourself.
I mean, yeah, he tried, but I'm not responsible for what he did after I rejected him.
No, you can't do this to me.
I'm not doing anything to you. You brought this all on yourself. The only thing I'm going to do now is block you. I don't care what you do with your life. Just keep me out of it.
No, wait.
Goodbye. That conversation wasn't really getting anywhere, so I just blocked Carrie and moved on with my life. Though I did hear about what happened to her from an old classmate who's still in the States. The aforementioned playboy Mark was apparently still married when Carrie hit him up. Having been completely taken in by Carrie's charms, he divorced his wife shortly after. So it looked like she had finally managed to steal a man from someone else. For a day, at least. That's when Mark's ex-wife brought her lawyer into the mix, with alimony demands. Carrie thought she'd be fine since Mark would just pay that on his own, but it seems he had a bit of a gambling problem and was already in a lot of debt. So he tried to get her to cover for him. Unfortunately, Carrie is someone who never had any experience managing money, let alone budgeting around something like alimony payments. So now she's trying to find some way to get away from him, all the while being hounded by debt collectors due to becoming his new wife. And that's not even getting into how she's struggling to support her current lifestyle. It sounds like she's got a long life of endless work ahead of her if she ever wants to escape. Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please look forward to the next video.
Hey, it's nice to meet you. This is Nate's big sister, Amelia, right?
Yes? I'm sorry, who is this?
Sorry for reaching out of the blue. I guess you don't really know who I am yet. Hi, my name is Mariella. I just signed the paperwork to marry your little brother, Nate.
Wait, what? You're saying you're Nate's wife?
That's right. Sorry for being so late to fill you in on our marriage. They really didn't want me to tell you anything about our marriage until we already had things figured out. Something about how you might take it the wrong way because you're still not even married yourself.
Excuse me?
That's what I've been hearing from him, at least. I'm just telling you the impression that I got from what he told me. You still live on your own, don't you? He told me about how you don't even have a boyfriend yet. Yikes. We figured you'd probably be jealous of us and try to get in the way of our marriage. So we just made sure not to tell you anything about it before it was settled to make sure that that didn't happen. Hey, don't blame me, though. I was just going off of what he told me.
Why would you think that about me?
Anyway, sorry that your brother and I found happiness in life before you were able to. I don't mean to upset you or anything. I was just updating you. Now that it should be okay to do so. I know that it might kind of be a sore spot for you.
Not really. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. It's none of my business what Nate does or who he wants to be with in the first place. The only thing that bothers me is how you're treating me. I don't need your pity or for you to talk down to me like I'm some miserable, lonely woman. I'm just not really ready to get together with someone right now. I mean, with work and everything, trying to find a boyfriend is kind of the last thing on my mind right now. I'd just appreciate if you wouldn't try and hold that against me to try and make me feel bad about it. I don't even really know you yet.
Oh yeah, about your work. By work, you mean your dad's company, right? I heard that you kind of took over the business after your dad passed away out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's right. I guess Nate told you about all of that?
You must be so exhausted with all of that. I see why you don't have time to find a boyfriend. Don't you think it would be better if you just let someone else take care of it? Then you'd have more time on your hands to go out and find yourself a man. How about you just let Nate take over the business? Don't you think that it's more suitable for the son to be the one to take over the business anyway?
You expect me to let him inherit our family business? I get the feeling you don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah? Is that a problem? I mean, it makes sense to me. Wouldn't that be what your dad would have wanted anyway? Why would he want his daughter to inherit over his son? It's always the son who takes over the family business in like 9 out of 10 cases.
What do you know about what he would have wanted? You've been with my little brother for I don't even know how long, and I'm just now hearing about you. And now you're telling me to hand over the family business? I don't see why you think you should be sticking your nose into our business.
I just think that Nate would be better at leading the business, that's all. I mean, he fits the bill for what you'd usually imagine a businessman to be like. It seems that he's got his life sorted out more than you have. We're about to have a kid, by the way. Think about it. We even have the next heir in line. It's the perfect choice.
Wait, you're kidding, right? You guys are having a kid?
Yep. And it's going to be a boy, so things should work out perfectly. I mean, you don't even have a boyfriend yet. At this rate, what's going to happen to the business when you're gone? Well, I'll give you some time to think about it. But I really think that it'll be for the best. I look forward to hearing back from you. Bye-bye!
Hey, Mom. What's up with Nate and his supposed wife? Have you heard about this? She just contacted me out of nowhere, and this is the first time that I'm hearing about her. Oh, wow. The timing really lined up on this one. They actually just came over to my house earlier today. Wait, they were over at the house? What did they want? Oh, they were just stopping by. But I wasn't really expecting that. They really caught me off guard. It's been such a long time since the last time I saw Nate. I definitely wouldn't have thought that he'd be bringing along a partner the next time that I saw him. But at least she seems like a good person. Are you talking about Mariella or whatever her name was? I don't feel like we're talking about the same person. Yep, that was her. I'm guessing you haven't seen her at all. She's so adorable. And she was way more mature than I would have expected. Mature? Yeah? She was such a well-mannered young lady. I never would have thought that Nate would get with such an amazing woman. I'm so happy for him. You won't come across many people like her these days. I'm so happy for them. Hold on a second. I think that there's something going on here. Mom, don't let her fool you. That is not how she normally is. There's just no way that it is. What? Why do you say that? Just believe me. She's just pretending. She's probably just trying to get on your good side. You wouldn't believe the way that she was talking to me earlier. Trust me on this one. She's trying to get something out of you. Are you sure? I certainly didn't get any kind of bad impression from her when we met. I couldn't imagine her being mean to anyone. She must have just been putting on an act. When we talked, she was calling me a lonely woman and poking fun at me for not having a boyfriend. It was nothing but insults from the second after she introduced herself to me. Oh, wow. I really can't imagine her saying anything like that. I never would have thought she had that side to her based on how she acted around me. I know that it isn't really my business how you decide to handle them. I mean, you're still Nate's mother, after all. But it's for the best that you know about the backside of her supposedly positive personality. Don't let her convince you otherwise. There's just something not right about her. Thanks for worrying about me, but you don't need to. I'm not that gullible. I'll be able to figure things out on my own.
Amelia! Did you see the pictures from our wedding that I sent you? Didn't we have some really great shots?
Yeah, I saw them. There were some nice photos. You guys were dressed up really nicely. You looked good together. I think that Mom being there in some of the shots really brought them together as well. I think that you guys had some really great pictures taken.
Right? They really feel like family photos.
I guess so. Except for the fact that you're missing someone from the family in the picture. Someone who wasn't even invited to the wedding in the first place.
Wait. Don't tell me that you're mad that you're the only one who wasn't invited. Are you upset about being left out?
I wouldn't say that I'm really upset, but I would like to know the reason why I wasn't invited. Why would you invite our mom and not me? I don't know what you have against me, but I'm a part of the family too, whether you like it or not. I think it would have been nice if I'd have been invited to my own brother's wedding.
I don't know about that. Inviting Nate's mom to our wedding is a completely different story. What do I need you at our wedding for? So we can feel bad for you? I wouldn't want you to be there all by yourself just so we can feel guilty about it. That really would have ruined the atmosphere.
Huh?
I don't think that you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. You do realize that I don't really feel like I need to, nor do I want to, be your friend, let alone see you as family. You're just a stranger to me. I don't see you as anything more than my husband's sister.
And how is that on the same level as being a stranger? Are you really saying that you don't want to make any effort to get along with me? Your sister-in-law?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't care what kind of relationship we have by law. You may as well be a stranger to me. On top of that, I really don't have any merit to getting along with you. So I simply won't.
That's kind of a messed up way of looking at things, but okay.
It can't hurt to get along with your mom. But there's really not any reason to get along with you. If anything, I feel like you might just become a burden in the future. What good could possibly come out of trying to make friends with someone like you?
A burden? That's how you see me? In what way could I possibly get in y'all's way?
I mean, it's only a matter of time before Nate takes over the company. What do you plan on doing after that? He'll be alone and jobless. I hope you won't expect us to have your back and let you leech off of us.
Even if that were the case, do you really think that I wouldn't be able to take care of myself afterwards?
I don't know. I I mean, I could see you bothering us out of spite just to get back at us for not inviting you to our wedding. Oh yeah! And I don't plan on letting you know where we live either. I'd appreciate if you'd just make an effort to not get involved with us. I'll make it easy for you by not letting you know any of our personal info.
Oh, really? I see how it is. It's not like I really wanted to know anyway. I've done nothing to you. You're the one who keeps getting in contact with me. And all you've done is insulted me on and on, treating me like an unwanted nuisance in your life. I'm glad that I didn't go to y'all's wedding. I couldn't be bothered to find out where you guys are living if you begged me to.
Like I care. All I'm saying is that I'm not going to be handing over personal information to just anyone. And I don't really know you. I'm just setting boundaries. Don't expect us to help you out in the future when I may as well not even know you.
I don't need you or Nate. BTW, Nate's not even my brother anymore as far as I'm concerned.
Huh?
Why would I go to you guys if I ever needed anything? If you guys feel that way about me, then I won't do anything to get in y'all's way. But don't expect me to treat you any better than you've treated me. If you don't want to have anything to do with me, then so be it. I don't care who Nate decides to marry. He's not even family to me. If he wants to get married to someone like you, then he can have fun with that. You two can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Hold on. What do you mean he isn't your brother?
I meant what I said. Nate isn't my brother, and he hasn't been part of our family for some time now.
What are you talking about all of a sudden? Nate told me that you're his older sister. I don't know what you're talking about. And you haven't said anything about that this whole time when I brought it up. Why are you trying to distance yourself from him like this all of a sudden?
We have the same mom, and that's where our relationship ends, as biological siblings. But Nate hasn't been part of our family for some time. I'm the only dependent that my parents took care of our last few years living together. They weren't Nate's guardians, so if anything, he's the stranger in the family.
What do you mean they weren't his guardians?
They gave up custody of him to our grandparents back when he was in high school. To our grandparents on Dad's side of the family.
What do you mean?
I guess you haven't heard anything about this from him.
What are you talking about? I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
That means you must not know anything about what led up to him being sent away either. I'll go ahead and fill you in. Nate pissed Dad off until he'd had enough. So he effectively disowned him. That's how he ended up in the custody of our grandparents.
What?
As you know, we run a family-owned business. And honestly, we've kind of had things a lot easier than most families do. But Nate would only ever use our family's position to get carried away. He thought that he'd always just get bailed out by our parents, so he'd cause problems at school. He'd even steal money from my parents. He was out of control. One day my dad had enough. He talked to our grandparents about what happened and figured it'd be best if he wasn't with our family. So they handed over custody.
Huh? You mean to tell me that he used to be that kind of kid? Why haven't I heard about this?
I don't really know what his deal was. He says that it was just the influence from video games and movies. But I don't really buy it. I mean, he was just awful back then. I do believe that he was finally able to reflect on what he'd done after he ended up being sent to live with our grandparents. But I don't think he ever properly tried to make things right, and my dad was never willing to forgive him. He even left in his will that he didn't wish for him to attend his funeral, a wish which we respected by not inviting him.
Your dad really hated him that badly?
Do you really think that he had a chance of inheriting the company? After all that he put my dad through? The business was specifically given to me. Nate isn't designated in Dad's will as a recipient of anything. The only words left about Nate are instructions for us to not involve ourselves with him after his death.
Are you being serious? So you're saying that Nate won't be able to lead your dad's business?
That's right. If you want to be married to a business owner so badly, then how about you guys start your own business?
You're being ridiculous right now.
I'm sure you can ask Nate to fill you in on all the details. He has to know that there isn't any way he is going to be inheriting the business. So I'd be more concerned about why he's even entertaining the idea. Hey, Amelia. I'm sorry to ask this all of a sudden, but do you think that I could stay at your house? I already have my stuff together, so if possible, I'd like to move in as soon as possible. Why? I don't mind, but what's going on? Nate and Mariella have been hanging out around my house way too often. They've been staying there almost every day. They're starting to bother me, and I'm just getting tired of being around them. What? Yeah. They keep on talking about the company. They want me to try and do something about it. They're just so persistent, and I just can't get them to stop. They think that I'll join their side or something. And they act like I should be grateful to them for them being around me and for inviting me to their wedding. I've just had enough. What are we gonna do with them? They're clearly trying to take advantage of your kindness. It seems that that's all they've been trying to do from the start. Nate even started yelling at me. He said I should be on their side because they invited me to the wedding. He's just gone completely mask off and trying to coerce me into doing something. He thinks that he's doing a favor for me, like he's being a good son or something, and that I need to repay him for it. Wow. Even after all these years, he's still an ungrateful brat. It's not like I can do anything about who controls the business anyway. Maybe if he hadn't acted the way he did, then your father would have included him in the will. I wish that they'd see that there's nothing that I can do for them, even if I wanted to, so that they'd just leave me alone. For real. You don't even have anything to do with the company. It's not like you have any authority over who runs it. That's what I've been trying to explain to them. But no matter how many times I tell them that it's not going to happen, that there's nothing that I can do, they just double down and insist that there has to be something that I can do. I'm just so tired of it. I need to get away from them. I'm sorry about them. They probably just think that they'll get their way if they start pushing you around. Well, they're wrong. I think that all of you are underestimating me. Just because I was nice to y'all as kids doesn't mean that I can't stand my ground. It was your father who didn't want me to be so rough with y'all. He insisted that he take on the role of the strict parent and that I only treat you guys kindly. Wait, really? That's why you never got mad at us or anything? That's exactly why. I was just trying to work with your dad and what he thought was the best for you guys. Looking back on it, I'm not sure it was really fair for either of us to handle it that way. But it was our way of handling things. I guess that makes sense why you almost never got on to us and it was always Dad. In the end, it didn't even matter with Nate. No matter what we tried, we couldn't get him to pull his act together. I think that he just wanted the attention. But now that your father is gone, it's time for me to take on both roles. I'm done playing nice mom. It's about time that I let him and that wife of his know what's really on my mind and set the record straight. I see. So, when are you planning on moving out? Like I said, I don't mind if you want to move in with me. They said they were going to be coming back over tomorrow, so I plan on leaving before then. I'll leave them a note that no one is going to go against your father's will. I just need them to understand that it's not my fault, or even yours, that things ended up this way. I'm going to clear out the house and go. I mean, you were already planning on leaving that house someday, so I guess this is a good chance to go ahead and go through with it. You can move in whenever you feel like you need to. It can even be today if you want. I can help you move if you need to. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a look into selling the property, and as soon as I get into contact with someone, I'll head over there.
Where's your mom at? Are you trying to keep her from us? Why do you feel like you need to keep everything from us?
What?
Would it really hurt you to let us just have a little bit? You can't keep everything and everyone in the family away from us like this. You don't have any right to keep both the company and your mom all to yourself. What about us? Nate is your brother, whether you like it or not. And I'm part of the family by extension. You don't have to keep everything to yourself. Would it really be that big of a deal to let Nate take over the business anyway? I think it'd be best for everyone. You're just a sad and greedy woman.
Greedy? What does that make you? Were you expecting to get something out of marrying Nate? It was our dad's will for me to inherit the company. I don't want to hear it from you. Your opinion doesn't matter to me.
Don't you feel bad for us? He's still your little brother. You grew up together. You have the same parents. And yet you're the only one who got anything from your dad when he died? How is that fair?
You should take that up with Nate. It's his actions that led to him being disowned. He totaled 5 of Dad's cars. Did he tell you about that?
What?
Not only that, he was still in middle school the first time that it happened. He didn't even make it off of our property before he crashed it. Do you mean to tell me that you wouldn't be pissed if it were your kid destroying your property? I wasn't surprised that Dad didn't want him at the funeral. And I don't think he was either.
Hold on. How do I know you're even telling the truth? How could I not have heard about this? Isn't that kind of a big deal? There's no way he was that bad of a kid.
I can't say that he hasn't gotten better as he's gotten older. But I do think that it's weird that you and Tim are appearing all of a sudden right after Dad died. How come Nate never had the courage to try and make it up to Dad? How come you're here now that you think there's something to be gained out of his death?
Your dad's death isn't my problem. Is it really so bad to marry someone with a promising future? So what if I thought that he was going to take over the business when we got married? But this isn't what I expected. And what's with your mom? I thought that she was supposed to be nice. Why doesn't she even want to help us out a little? I'm tired of this. I'm about to divorce Nate.
Is that so? Go ahead, do as you please. Whether or not you guys get divorced has nothing to do with me.
Yes, it does. If I'm getting divorced with him, then I need you to take care of our child. It's not possible for me to raise the kid on my own. And it'd be good for you. Then you wouldn't be so lonely. It seems that this family is good at handing over the care of kids they can't handle on their own anyway.
Cut the crap. Talk to Nate about this. It isn't my problem. If it's not possible for you to take care of your child, then have him do it.
I can't! The kid isn't even his.
What? The baby isn't his?
Well, I mean, there was a period in my life where I kind of hooked up with a bunch of guys. And then I got pregnant, and I didn't know what to do. But when I told Nate I was pregnant, he was ecstatic. He said that it was a good opportunity to get married and try to come back like we did. I didn't really know why he was so happy about it. But he just kept on telling me that he was going to inherit his dad's company and whatnot and never told me the true story about what happened.
That might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I don't even know what to say.
I didn't know about Nate's past. Who knows what he'll do to me if he finds out that the baby isn't his? There's no way that I can have him take care of the baby. Please just help me out. I'll just get divorced and give birth to the baby without letting him know anything about what we talked about. I just need you to take the baby.
I'm sorry. And I feel bad for the kid who's going to be born into this mess. But it's not really my problem. Figure something out on your own.
Hold on.
Look, there are plenty of support centers and stuff that can help you out. But that's all I can really help you with. You'll need to figure the rest out on your own. I haven't heard from Mariella or Nate since. According to what I've heard rumored, Mariella never went through with the divorce and never told Nate about the baby. She gave birth to the child without Nate ever even knowing about what was going on behind the scenes. She's probably living in fear that he'll figure out that he's taking care of a child who isn't even his. On the other hand, Nate seems to be trying to take work seriously in order to support them. However, he's been having trouble keeping a job for more than a short period of time. I think that Mariella wants to say something about it, but she's still fearful about rocking the boat given her current situation. She's currently working part-time and managing the family finances. Their family is barely hanging on. But I plan to simply keep my distance and see how things play out. Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and feel free to leave a comment. Please also consider subscribing.